This agent just told a customer that his private message contents aren't stored anywhere. They are. It wasn't lying to be cruel. It just didn't have that fact in front of it, so it guessed. And it guessed the exact opposite of the truth. Nothing crashed, and the reply looked completely calm and confident. That's what makes this dangerous. A wrong answer about someone's privacy that reads like a right one. One missing file caused all of that. So here is the question for today. Can adding one file back actually turn a false answer into a true one, and by how much? Welcome back. Anthropic keeps saying that the highest leverage skill in building agents isn't prompting, it's engineering the context that surrounds it. That's easy to say and hard to actually test. Since last episode, we've had our own harness ready, able to grade any version of this agent against the same real tickets. So today we actually use it. One new context layer, the same model, the same tools, and the scorecard decides what changed. Quick gloss. Maskbox gives people throwaway email addresses that quietly forward to their real inbox. And that's genuinely all you need to follow this episode. From here on, just think of it as a support desk. Tickets come in and the agent drafts the reply. Right now that agent, version 1, gets 68% of its tickets right. And its 8 failures aren't random, they cluster into 4 shapes right on screen. 2 security tickets got refused but never escalated. 2 export replies came back, missing whole categories of stored data. 2 got kicked to a human who only needed a plain direct answer. And 2 more got dinged on small policy details the agent didn't know. Here is the thing, none of that is a tool problem because every tool worked exactly as it should have. So today we change what the agent knows and nothing else. The branch is called EP05 if you want to follow along. The SDK moves fast, so trust the repo over my screen whenever the two disagree. Before any code, here's one idea worth sitting with. Every time this agent looks at a ticket, it only knows what's actually inside its context window at that moment. And that window isn't infinite, it's a budget, exactly like the shelf on screen. 4 things have to fit on that shelf: the system prompt, the tool definitions, the conversation so far, and the ticket itself. Every token one of those 4 spends is a token the other 3 don't get to use. So engineering the context really just means deciding on purpose what the model has to see before it does anything at all. And it means knowing exactly what that's worth in tokens. It's not about writing a longer prompt. It's about putting the right facts on that shelf, on a budget, in a shape the model can actually use. And here is the part that really bites. Whatever you leave off that shelf, the model doesn't just skip it and stay quiet. It fills the gap on its own, and it does that with total confidence. Hold on to that thought, because the mistake beat coming up has the actual receipt. Now for the actual build. Version 2 is version 1 plus exactly one new thing. A directory simply called context, holding 4 plain markdown files. What does the product do? How should the agent sound? When should it escalate to a human? And what has it gotten wrong? Don't read the code yet, just follow the idea. Each of those 4 files gets its own token budget. If a file goes over budget, the loader throws an error and the agent never starts the ticket. That's what makes this infrastructure not a vibe. All 4 files together land a bit over 2000 tokens comfortably under their shared cap. Those 4 files get loaded straight into a restructured prompt. Don't parse the code, just watch the 4 sections build: role, hard rules, policy digest, tool doctrine. The whole prompt comes out to a little over 2600 tokens. The hard rules sit at the top, told to win over anything a ticket tries to say. That ordering is deliberate, not decoration. My favorite file is the mistakes file. Every line in it is something version 1 got wrong on a real ticket, rewritten as a checklist the agent reads before it hits send. And that's the real loop the harness bought us. An eval names a failure, and the failure turns straight into context. Here is the mistake, beat, and one receipt carries the whole episode. A customer wrote in and asked what data the service actually keeps about them. Version 1 answered, word for word, Maskbox does not store message bodies, only the envelope metadata. That's the exact opposite of the truth. Maskbox does store them. One missing file was enough to flip a real privacy fact with total confidence. You can't prompt tune your way out of a problem like that. The model wasn't reasoning badly, it was guessing, exactly like we said a minute ago. Version 2 holds a 4-part checklist of what's stored right in its window. So now it lists all 4 categories, message bodies included. Now the other half of this beat, security. 2 tickets in this run were actual attacks, someone trying to leak a different customer's data. Version 1 refused both, which is good, but it told absolutely no one. This agent is built to hand attacks off to a real person. Version 1 just didn't know that was the rule, so we wrote the rule down. One new line, refusing an attack isn't enough, and you also have to escalate it. On that same attack ticket, version 2 answered, word for word, this content has been flagged and escalated to our security team for review. The second attack opens with, per policy, I must both refuse and escalate. I will not be looking up the alias or confirming anything about it. 1 turn, 0 tool calls, and it caught the takeover attempt from the context pack alone. Now the scorecard. Same 25 tickets, same grader, only the context window changed. Watch these numbers land one at a time. First, task success. Version 1 solved 68% of tickets and version 2 solved 84%. That's the number this whole episode has been building toward. Second, unrecoverable errors, still 0, same as version 1. Third, cost per ticket, it actually went down, even with a bigger prompt to pay for. Fourth, human interventions per 10 tasks, that number ticked up slightly, and that rise is the good kind. All 8 of the failures we targeted got fixed, 8 for 8, and the whole run got a little cheaper, even though every ticket now carries a lot more context. That's because context replaced searching. Doc lookups nearly disappeared, and the agent needed far fewer turns per ticket. A handful of tickets now finish without touching a single tool at all. So where did those extra interventions come from? 2 real security escalations that should have fired started firing, and 1 wrong escalation went away. The 4 new failures on this run aren't really the agent's fault. 2 of them are strict word matching checks our own judge overruled because both replies were fine. One of them, task 23, is an honest regression. The agent never acknowledged the customer's worry that their data had leaked. We are logging that regression right here, not hiding it. That's the pattern to expect. As the agent improves, the grader's own gaps become the main thing left to fix. So we won't touch the rubric in the same commit as the agent, because that's teaching to the test. So let's recap. The context window is a budget, system prompt, tools, history, and the ticket all fighting for the same space. Policy now lives in plain files, each one on an enforced budget, compiled straight into the prompt. And the rule from earlier still holds, Whatever you leave out, the model fills it in confidently. The harness loop we built closed this. A graded failure became a line in a file, and the file became context. And that's the answer to the question from the start of this episode. One folder of context files took this agent from 68% to 84% at a lower cost, 8 failures fixed for 8. But there is a catch waiting in the next episode. Everything version 2 now knows still dies the moment the session ends. Close the terminal and it forgets every single ticket it has ever handled. Next time, memory across sessions, what an agent should remember, what it must never remember, and how we'll measure the difference. See you there.